Excellency, the
African Growth and Opportunity Act is designed to strengthen trade between the United States and sub-Saharan Africa. And Deputy Trade Representative Demetrius Marantis says AGOA works best when it improves conditions for individuals and countries in terms of economic growth and job creation.
You can go in various countries in Africa and, meet a woman who is, HIV positive and has a job and is able to support her children because she is employed by a jam factory that exports jam from Swaziland to the United States. Or you can go to Liberia and meet a woman who wouldn't have had a job otherwise but for the fact that she works for a factory that's exporting high-quality African organic cotton T-shirts to the United States.
But despite such progress, Marantis says more needs to be done.
There hasn't been enough utilization of AGOA by African countries, and we need to spend more time together thinking of how each individual AGOA beneficiary country can make better use of AGOA.
But Stephen Hayes from the Corporate Council on Africa says it's hard to take advantage of something when countries face inadequate conditions.
Let's be fair. How can they use it if they lack the infrastructure and the training of workforce, capacity building to really use it effectively? You've got to have road structures to get products to market. You've got to have manufacturing capabilities. It doesn't just come up overnight. And to get manufacturing capabilities, you have to have investors. You can't just send textiles and trinkets and expect to say that AGOA works.
AGOA has worked in South Africa, Hayes says, because the infrastructure is there. He also brought up another issue.
A second major beneficiary, I say this somewhat jokingly, of AGOA was China, by moving their textile plants to Africa, because then they didn't have to worry about the tariffs.
Marantis says the U.S. market is open to 98% of Africa's products, but to be eligible, countries must make progress in establishing the rule of law, protecting human rights, and fighting corruption. Last year, the U.S. terminated trade benefits with Niger, Guinea, and Madagascar because of lack of progress in those areas.
I worked 6 years in this free trade zone, but now our garment factory has shut and the Chinese left. So we no longer have work there, and we keep ourselves busy with household jobs.
In addition to meeting the criteria of eligibility, there are lots of competitive challenges that make trading from Africa to the United States difficult. Marantis says the U.S. has created trade hubs to provide technical assistance to the African exporters.
An exporter can learn, okay, this is how I market a product in the United States. This is the kind of packaging that will work so that I can better sell my product in the United States. And this is how I can assess how much capacity I need as an exporter in order to accommodate orders in the United States.
The AGOA Forum brings together over 600 participants, including senior U.S. and African officials, as well as U.S. and African members of the private sector and civil society. Mariama Jallo, VOA News.
Ladies and gentlemen.